If you're over 70 and noticing that everyday movements are getting harder, slower steps, heavier legs, maybe even a fear of falling, you're not imagining things, and you're not alone. The truth is, how fast you move right now could be telling you how long you have left to live. That might sound harsh, but it's reality. And the fact that you chose to watch this video means you're already doing something right. You're paying attention, and that's where change begins. Researchers have found that walking speed is one of the strongest indicators of longevity in older adults. It's not just about getting from point A to B. It reflects your heart, muscles, brain, and balance working together. Take a moment and think. Have you started to slow down without noticing? Do short walks leave you more tired than before? Are stairs becoming something you avoid? These aren't just signs of aging, they're early warnings, and the earlier you listen, the more power you have to do something about it. Let me tell you about my friend Gerald. He's 75, walks every morning, still moves with purpose. No limping, no pausing, just steady steps, like he's got somewhere important to be, even if he doesn't. His body is aging, sure, but his walking pace says he's not done living. And that's the message I want to give you tonight. How you move can tell you more about your health than your lab tests. Fun fact: in ancient Japan, people believed that those who walked too fast were being chased by mischievous spirits. Today, science shows us it's just a sign of a body that still works well. As one public health professor put it, walking speed is a vital sign, just like your pulse or blood pressure. So check in with yourself. Are you still moving strong, or has your pace started to fade? Whatever the answer, the best time to rebuild strength is always now. Let's talk about something you use every single day, often without thinking: your hands. More specifically, your grip. Because after 70, your grip strength might be one of the clearest windows into how well your body is aging. You might be surprised to hear this, but doctors now use grip strength as a way to predict everything from muscle health to how likely someone is to recover from illness, or even how long they might live. A firm, steady handshake says a lot, not about manners, about survival. I remember the moment I realized my hands weren't what they used to be. I was trying to open a jar of pickles, something I'd done 100 times, but this time it didn't budge, not even close. My grandson watched and offered to help. That little gesture stung more than I expected. Then I started noticing other things, struggling to carry shopping bags, fumbling with buttons, dropping the soap in the shower. None of it hurt, but it all pointed to the same thing: loss of strength. Compare that to Robert, my neighbor. He's 78, does a few simple weight exercises at home, and still shakes hands like a man with a job to do. He's sharp, mobile, and full of energy. His grip says, "I'm not done yet." Fun fact: there's an old belief that the strength of your hands reflects the strength of your will. Science might not say it quite like that, but it agrees with the message. As one aging researcher once said, grip strength is not just a measure of muscle, it's a proxy for resilience. So here's something simple you can try. Squeeze a tennis ball for 30 seconds. If your hand tires quickly or feels weak, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Your body is whispering something important. If your grip is fading, it doesn't mean you're doomed. It means now is the time to act. Now let's test something you probably haven't thought about today. Can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds? Go ahead, try it, right now, barefoot if you can. Lift one foot off the ground and count. If you start wobbling, reaching for furniture, or give up after a few seconds, you're not just losing balance, you might be losing time. Researchers have found that balance is one of the most overlooked signs of how well we age. People who struggle with it after 70 are more likely to suffer falls, cognitive decline, and even early mortality. It's not just about keeping upright, it's a signal that your brain, muscles, and nervous system are starting to disconnect. Let me introduce Carol and Nancy. Both are 72. Carol walks daily, practices yoga, and can stand like a flamingo without breaking a sweat. Nancy, on the other hand, barely makes it past 3 seconds before grabbing the back of a chair. Nancy didn't think much of it until she fell trying to reach for a teacup on the top shelf. It wasn't a big fall, but it scared her, and it was a wake-up call. That's often how it starts. One small loss of balance and life suddenly becomes smaller. Fun fact: in some European clinics, doctors now include balance tests as part of routine health checkups, right next to blood pressure and cholesterol. As one neurologist put it, the feet tell you what the brain won't say out loud. If you struggled with this little test just now, don't be discouraged. Balance can be rebuilt. Start small, practice standing on one leg for a few seconds every day, use the wall for support, or try walking heel to toe across the room. You're not just building strength, you're buying time. Now, tell me in the comments, were you able to stand for 10 seconds? Type 1 if yes, 0 if not. I'd love to know how you're doing. Let's talk about something that affects every part of your health but often gets ignored: your sleep. Not just how many hours you're in bed, but how deeply you sleep, how often you wake up, and how refreshed you feel in the morning. Because after 70, your sleep patterns are no longer just about rest. They're a direct signal of how well your body and brain are holding up. Henry and Bill are both 75. Henry has a routine: bed by 10, up by 6, no screens before sleep, and a room as quiet as a library. He wakes up with energy, makes his own breakfast, and even remembers where he put his glasses. Bill, not so much. He falls asleep on the couch with the TV still on, wakes up 3 or 4 times a night, and by morning, he's already tired. Over time, Bill started forgetting names. His blood pressure crept up, he caught colds more easily. None of this happened overnight, but it all tied back to sleep. What many people don't realize is that poor sleep after 70 can speed up memory loss, increase your risk of heart disease, and make your immune system weaker. It's not just about feeling drowsy. Your body literally repairs itself during deep sleep. Fun fact: during quality sleep, your brain cleans itself, clearing out waste proteins linked to Alzheimer's. So yes, good sleep is brain hygiene. A sleep scientist once said, if exercise is the best medicine, sleep is its closest twin. If you're tossing and turning every night, try keeping a regular sleep schedule. Get sunlight in the morning, cut back on caffeine after lunch, and limit heavy meals or screens before bed. You don't have to aim for perfection, just consistency. Now I want to hear from you. Did you sleep well last night? Comment 1 if yes, 0 if not. Your answers help us understand what you're going through, and we're reading every one. Now let's focus on something that often gets brushed off after 70, but shouldn't: your appetite. If you've noticed that meals don't excite you anymore, or that you feel full too quickly, it's not just a quirk of aging. It could be your body's quiet way of warning you that something deeper is changing. Take Margaret and Susan. Both are 74. Margaret still looks forward to every meal. She eats colorful plates of vegetables, grilled fish, warm soups, nothing fancy, just real food. She enjoys cooking, enjoys eating, and her weight stays steady. Susan, however, has started skipping meals. She says food just doesn't taste the same. She snacks on processed things because they're easier. She's lost weight without meaning to, and lately she feels tired even after resting. That's no coincidence. Appetite loss in older adults often links to declining digestion, hormone shifts, or even early cognitive decline. When you're not eating well, your muscles weaken, your immune system falters, and your energy fades. It's like a plant not getting water. It doesn't die immediately, but it does shrink. Here's a weird one for you. Did you know astronauts returning from space often lose their appetite? Turns out gravity plays a role in how we digest food. On Earth, though, appetite loss usually means trouble. A nutritionist once said, "Your hunger is your body's voice. When it goes silent, listen harder." If your appetite has changed, don't ignore it. Start small. Eat with others. Cook meals you used to enjoy. Focus on proteins and healthy fats. Hydration matters too. Sometimes what feels like loss of hunger is just dehydration. So let me ask you, are you eating enough and enjoying your meals? Comment 1 if your appetite feels normal, 0 if you've noticed a drop. I'm curious to see how many of us are really paying attention to this quiet but powerful sign. Let's close with something less physical but just as powerful: how you handle stress and who you turn to when life gets hard.
After 70, your emotional health matters more than ever, not because you should avoid all problems, but because how you respond to them can shape how long and how well you live. Think about John and Richard. Both are 76. John has had his fair share of problems, health scares, money troubles, even loss. But he's learned to breathe through the chaos. He talks to friends, he laughs at small things. He doesn't pretend to be okay, but he doesn't let stress drown him either. Richard, on the other hand, holds everything in. He overthinks, worries about things he can't control, and gets irritated easily. He's stopped meeting people and spends most days in silence. Stress doesn't just affect the mind, it breaks down the body. It raises inflammation, weakens immunity, and chips away at memory, sleep, and heart health. Now let's add one more layer: social connection. Loneliness, especially in old age, is dangerous. People who stay connected through friends, hobbies, or even weekly calls live longer, period. Eleanor is 78 and belongs to a book club, even if she barely reads the books. Barbara, also 78, lives alone and hasn't spoken to anyone in weeks. Their health outcomes will likely be very different. Fun fact: studies show that loneliness can have the same physical impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how deep the mind-body link runs. As one psychologist said, the human nervous system was built for connection. Without it, the body thinks it's in danger. So here's your gentle nudge. Stay in touch. Even a short call, a text, a smile at the market. It all adds up. And if stress is piling up, try walking, journaling, or simply talking it out. Your body will thank you. Now it's your turn to share. Have you felt supported and calm lately? Comment 1 if yes, 0 if you felt overwhelmed or alone. I'm here to read and respond.